morning, everyone. Welcome to Gulfstream today. Ron Nicoletti along with Brian Nano is start of our first three-day week. We'll be running this all summer long, Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. And it's rumored that we might be riding some Mondays. We'll let you know about running some Mondays. We'll let you know about that as things progress down the line. But Friday, Saturday, and Sunday, it's a fast-made track. We're back on the turf. The turf course is listed as firm. Looking nice and green out there, Brian.
Sure is, Ronnie. It looks like the rails are going to be out at 10 feet. If you print it early, not 59, 10 feet. And that is a big, big difference. Very, very important. We've got a good, strong card. Of course, Saturday, one of the biggest post-championship meet days of the year. Here at Gulfstream Park, we've got the Royal Palm races, those automatic qualifiers over to Royal Ascot.
And the horses that have won or run here have done exceptionally well over there with fields of 20-plus horses.
Each and every year, the horses that run and win in these races go over there and they make big dents. They've won. They've hit the board. They have done very, very nicely for themselves. And these races are good. The names in these races of the trainers and who they've shipped in, it's a lot of excitement for this card tomorrow.
Yeah, that is races 6 and 8 on a 10-race card. But we have today to look at. So the first race is going to be 7.5 furlongs on the turf. But let's go. What's going on with the Rainbow?
Rainbow is up to, I believe, $50,000 in the estimated jackpot. You can see a very solid carryover. So that seems wildly low. If there's already 27,000 in there, they'll blow past that, to be sure. It's in its infancy, so that's a great time to get involved. We've got turf racing today. The finale on the grass, Ronnie, could be a kind of an interesting race. So get involved. Yeah,
get involved. Of course, we have the Tropical Turf Pick 3 starting in race number 5. We also got we'll tell you all the stuff in the lightning round, the coast to coast, and Sunset 6 races. But we'll get right into this Friday card. 7.5 furlongs on the turf, as I mentioned, where we're going to start. These are maidens, and we'll see how they run in this afternoon. They are 3-year-olds, and no scratches or jockey changes to let you know about. And Brian has an early Pick 5 ticket.
Take a look at it here. I'll single a horse that, I'll tell you what, if the risk is 5-1, that is not a good sign at all. Race number 2 down on the inside. The 1, Game Changer Jolie for Happy Author, getting back on Tapeta is important today. Race 3, it's the 2, Emerging Leader for D'Angelo. Race number 4 is the 4. I do scratch in to Mimi Willie. We'll show you a replay there. And as Ronnie mentioned, the TT Pick 3 kicks off in race number 5, as does the late Pick 5. I am on the 7. What a wildly competitive turf race you're on. Who is the 7? The 7 is Boots on the Moon for Ronnie Spatz.
Yeah, I got that horse on time. Too good a stat. I'll show you there. So race number 1 this afternoon. Getting to this race, Brian. So you singled the number 4, Risk, for Carlos David. I had this one a little further down on my ticket.
Yeah, I'm just looking at one race, Ron, and that is right here on August 3rd of last year. Of course, this horse hasn't been out since a no-show at Kentucky Downs on August 31st of last year. I don't care about that. Nobody, you handle it or you don't, that cow pasture out there. But we're back today. Carlos David is going to take over. The works here are very forward, including the May 2nd, which is almost a bullet, 2nd of 43 from the gate. So I think this gelded son of Twirling Candy is ready to roll. Lasix goes on today. Sammy Camacho, as good of a jock as we have here, is named. If this horse is anywhere close to that 5-1, and it's so early in the betting, Ron, against a group like this, that would be a terrible sign. I have to believe he's ready to fire today.
I did go with the 8-5 favorite right now on the board. Very early in the racing for Jose Castro. In a similar situation, this is an inconsistent sort. You go back and look at this horse's turf race back on my birthday, January 17th. This horse wins this race.
Yes.
Doesn't run well. You could see that race on February 27th when the wheels fell off. But now the horse comes back and shows they figured something out, runs well on the all-weather surface. So we'll see how this horse runs. But inconsistent, 8-5. I don't know about that.
Yeah, I think that Tapeta race was important, though, Ron, because as you mentioned, the race 3 back, second start of the career on the turf, a really good third in the thick of the championship meet. That's going to beat this group, and it's going to beat it comfortably. I don't know what happened when he was dead last of 12 in his next start at 5-2, and he leaves such a bad taste in your mouth. But as Ronnie alluded to, he got back on the beam on the Tapeta last time. Now he's back on turf with a good outside draw with these rails at just 10 feet today. I think he's a big player, and he could be favored, Ron, if they're not going to bet the 4.
The 2 Tom, we have a work we want to show you. This is a first-time starter from Mark Cassie. And is this the bullet work?
This is not.
No.
I don't believe so. Whatever work this is. It's the March 13 work, so we have to be fair to him. It was a few months back. It's the only thing we could see. He's on the outside of Salt of the Earth. This is not a very good drill at all. He kind of gets drilled by his stablemate, and it is a Cassie horse on the inside. As Ronnie said, you can see the exercise rider is all out here to keep up with this horse, and he cannot do it. That is not a pretty work at all. With that being said, and as Ron alluded to, there is a bullet work on May 1st. Now, it was much after March 13th, so maybe he's gotten better. That bullet drill was not very fast either up at Palm Meadows. The stats fine for the Hall of Famer, 15% here. That's about right in the wheelhouse of what everything Mark kind of does.
Right.
I would be willing to fade this horse
this is at
today.
Gulfstream Park.
And that's a good point. Sure.
Yeah, I narrowed it down to Gulfstream Park. And that's basically his numbers, but he's got a positive return on investment. And look who's riding, Diego Herrera. I like the way this kid has been riding.
Yeah.
So a couple of things to like about this horse, especially right now, the 6-1 price. You went with the number 5 in third, and that's Mr. William for Jose D'Angelo, who hasn't been seen since that race back in February.
I expect better from him. It's hard not to be better when you beat one horse home and you were beaten 13 lengths. He took a little money that day. This is a son of Silver State that they paid 80 for, which is a huge number for a young sire that stands for 7,500. I like the fact that Jose D'Angelo, off that terrible turf run on February 22nd, he's still coming back on turf. That is a big positive because we know there's Tapeta in dirt races for this horse. Maybe we give him one more shot, Ron.
Yeah, the horse. So we'll see how Lunar Unit how the number 4 horse runs in there for you. Risk. Race number 2 this afternoon, 1 mile and 70 yards. These is on the Tapeta. These are claimers. They are 3-year-old fillies or fillies and mares 4 and up, which have never won 3. Clean slate in here. No scratches or jockey changes. We both had some interest on Game Changer Jolie. Off that win, I imagine 2 starts back.
Had won 2 in a row on Tapeta, and they got a little salty and tried her on the turf. That's not her. She can't play with a turf field. But we're back on the Tapeta now. She is rising today because the Tapeta win 2 starts back was a 2L. Irad was aboard both of the wins. Certainly Diego Herrera, as Ronnie mentioned, and I can't back it up enough. He's been so impressive since coming over from California. We're down on the inside. He's got a big tactical edge on the 2 main rivals, the 2 Annie Goodbody and the 3 Magnetic Beach. So I'm with you here, Ron. Let's get back to the Tapeta. Let's get back on the beam. Once Happy stretched this horse out, boy, she really blew way up.
Now, you have to go back all the way to January to see how Magnetic Beach ran on the all-weather surface. And let's show that race back on January 23rd, I believe it is.
Yeah, I would figure, Ron, she's going to like getting back to the Tapeta or not. This is Orsino, Roddy Valente. They're going to bet this horse. She was beaten ahead in this 17-5 3L in the thick of the championship meet. This is a good effort. She's run relatively well on turf, but she's not a good enough horse to win a turf race. I think that's pretty evident. So now we're back on the Tapeta, which she wants to do. You can see those silks coming through on the inside for Roddy. And this is a horse that's going to be beaten, a nose in this spot, all the way through on the inside, which is never the place to be. Gimme Some Luck is drifting. That's not going to work. She comes right up the fence here. Heaven's Promise is in the 2 and the 3 path. Gets the bob here. Big time effort, Ron. Now we're back on the Tapeta today.
Number 2, Annie Goodbody, is where I went in second. And you just look at that race on March 15th against 2 Lifetime, draws off and wins impressively on the all-weather. Going with Brian's just saying maybe not good enough to win a turf race against this level of competition. Leading rider, I think he's still leading rider. Sammy Camacho will let you know a little bit more about that in a couple of moments. But I went with Andy Goodbody off that performance 2 back.
Yeah, another horse like the one rising from a 2L win, but it was a decisive one. That was an off-the-turf race on a mandatory rainbow day. She didn't run terribly on the turf, but Ronnie said it perfectly and just picked up on what I said. She's not good enough to win a turf race.
Race number 3 this afternoon is 6 furlongs on a fast main track. These are claimers, 3-year-olds and upward, which have never won 2 races in life. We did have a couple of scratches in here of the 4 Arucano and the number 7 Sweet Lazarus, and I always had the number 6 Jimbo Bailey on top. Did you scratch into the 2 Emerging Leader?
No, nothing changed for me. Those long shots are out of here. It didn't bother me in the least. I thought Emerging Leader ran pretty well. I know it was at Tampa, so this is a tougher groove, but added Lasix and blinkers and finally showed some life, because he certainly didn't do that in a Tapeta route in the first start for D'Angelo, in the first start in the U.S. I think he's going to like this group today. He's got a world of upside, too, and I think that's so very important, because you look at a horse like the Western Shaft and also your horse, Jimbo Bailey. Where are they going? So I think Emerging Leader can still move forward.
Yeah, Jimbo Bailey, you're hoping bounces back and shows what it showed. Breaking Maiden, 2 starts back where he drew off to win like an international. Good thing is the favorite comes back as the favorite once again, but gets claimed by Nick Tomlinson, who's been doing a good job. Maybe it's the old bounce rebound.
Yeah, I guess. I liked him. I picked him that day. I keyed him that day, and he was dreadful that day with no real apparent excuse. Wide journey. Okay, well, that's not why he beat 2 horses home and was 7.5 lengths behind at 11-10 at essentially even money. We'll see. Nick's going to have to get him back in a hurry.
Western Shaft is going to turn back this afternoon to 6 furlongs. You could just look at its last race for Danny Hertag. Set the pace, ended up finishing second, was big odds that afternoon. I think this is an easier task this afternoon.
So 4 of the 5 horses. My horse is the only horse not out of the Kazuza race. And Western Shaft ran second, and as Ronnie mentioned, and I think it's so key, that race was at 6.5. You can see he was clear in deep stretch of that race, and he couldn't see it out. He is going to like the cutback, this half-furlong cutback, a lot today.
Western Shaft for Dan Hertag. The apprentice Yobel Torres will be in the saddle. We are going to take a short break. When we come back, we will have my Rainbow Six ticket.
Win big with new DRF All Access past performances. With one best-in-class product, you now get all 3 past performance formats. Easily switch between views. Access the most trusted information in horse racing with DRF All Access past performances. Go to DRF.com and use coupon code 1FREEPP for a free single card today.
There comes a moment when the next adventure is yours to choose. Imagine your next ride, not to another destination, but to a world you step inside. My Racehorse makes real racehorse ownership possible, with top trainers and accomplished owners in the sport's biggest races. Access once limited to a few, now open to you. This isn't a single race. It's the start of a lifelong pursuit. Begin the journey with My Racehorse.
Welcome back to Gulfstream today, Ron and Brian. It is race number 4. It's going to be a sprint at 5 1/2 furlongs on the Tapeta. It's a claiming event for fillies and mares, 3-year-olds and up, which had never won 2. Big scratch, probably the biggest scratch on the card, is the number 5, My Perfect Lady. We'll talk about this race, but first we'll look at my ticket, the old 4320. We'll talk about it. I has my single today, Ocala Gala, and I need this horse to run well with Martin Chon in the saddle for Mark Cassie. Race number 3, 3 deep for me. My top pick is the 2, 6-1 on the morning line. Give it time. I went deep in race number 7. That's that turf race. My top pick is the 2. Give Me Some Luck, who's 8-1 on the board. Race number 8 this afternoon, 2 for me. If Johnny Quest is my long shot at 12-1, but I used the favorite Outlaw Country for Antonio Sano. That race, you would want to go deeper if you could. And in the 9th and final race, I went with the number 3 in here, Mr. First, going to be ridden today by Jose Ferrer, but I also used the 3, 4, and the 1, Dr. Jekyll, who we have a video to show. So 43.20 for me. And I was looking, compared to the morning line, I got some shots today, that I go would run well. So maybe this one is not as easy as 43.20, but we'll see how it plays out. Getting to this 4th race, as I mentioned at the top, I don't know if you had My Perfect Lady on top. It was hard not to.
Hard not to.
I scratched into, like you, Mimi, Willie, and you got a replay you want to show.
Yeah, this was a tough ask for her. You're going to see what happens. She was beating a neck in this spot. Joe Orsino's going so good right now. It's good to see. And here's a horse for 16 last time. It was at 17.5 to 16 level. Tripping out beautifully here. The winner is Shispud, who is actually an overlaid price in this race. Mimi Willie's trying to loop in this spot. And you're thinking she's supposed to win here. This is why I scratched into her, because she is getting all the best of it here. She's kind of G-rated herding Shisputa down to the inside. You're always at a huge advantage, Ron, when you're on the outside.
Right.
And she couldn't quite see it out. So you are allowed to think she's potentially vulnerable, but you were way more allowed to think that at about 9:55 this morning before the scratches came over, because she was going to have a problem with My Perfect Lady. This is so much. She's legitimately probably odds on now, I think.
A horse that's going to get a little break today for trainer Jenna Antonucci is the inside horse. You looked on March 6th. This horse beats $25,000 maidens going 5 and on furlongs on the all-weather surface. Comes back, tries $17,000 condition claimers in, and not 2 lifetime, and runs an okay third. It looks like it shuffled back, was shuffled back early. This horse is really spotted in a good place today.
She was way more farther back than Jose Morelos wanted, but she just broke slow. She was flat-footed in this spot. I'm a little worried that she drew the rail, because from an inside draw last time, a much fuller field, she broke dead last of 11. She's got to be on her best behavior early, because if she can be in the race like she was 2 starts back, she's got a big chance in here to threaten.
Well, the package finished behind her in that last race, so you could see how this horse runs with Nick Tomlinson, the trainer. It was a second, he's had this horse for a while. I thought it was second off the claim, but it's not.
She needs to break too, because she did not break last time. I think she's better than what she showed last time. But with that being said, these are 2 straight subpar efforts from her too.
You know, maybe a horse like on the outside, Sweet Agenda, who we both didn't pick, who's got some speed, just steals the race. That's what makes this rainbow so intriguing today.
Farm works. You have no idea. Ramon Miguet just shows 1 for 11 on the year. He's a lot better than that. Lay 6 and a weight allowance. Dangerous filly, Ron.
Race 5 this afternoon, 5 furlongs on the turf, and it is an allowance race for state-bred fillies and mares, 3-year-olds and up. Scratch the 5, get the win. And boy, there's a lot of stuff happening in this race. It also is the start of late pick 5, which will show you Brian's ticket, and then we'll show you my tropical turf pick 3.
Boy, you could throw a blanket on this race. We'll get to it. In race number 6, the top pick, and that's a little bit of a spread. I'm on the inside with Max Sander. I do not trust our local horses. In race 7, it's my long shot, the 1 early delivery. Race number 8 is my best bet of the day, and that is the 5, Never Say Never. And in race number 9, Ronnie, I have the same horse you have, Mr. First. I think you're supposed to get out of that race with those 3, and those are the 3 Ron used in his rainbow as well.
I went, my best bet of the afternoon this afternoon is the number 2, Ocala Gala. And you could see, if you're looking at your past performances right now, really impressive performance against state-bred maidens, previously trained by Kentucky Derby winning trainer Cherie DeVoe. Just runs a real good race here and going to go to the turf. You say, well, that was on the all-weather surface. This horse is 3 for 4 in the money on the turf. At Keeneland Fairgrounds in 2025, this year at Fairgrounds in a couple of maiden special weight races. Just drew off from one. I'm going with speed in this race.
Is this your best bet?
Yes.
Okay. I like what you're doing here, because to me, there's a lot of people, probably myself included, if I was getting involved in the rainbow, they might go 7 or 8 deep. I think you're on the best horse. She is facing winners for the first time. There is so much other speed in this race. Anytime Love Actually's in a race, they're going to go ballistic early on. She's the 4-1 morning line favorite. They bet her very hard last time. The point is this: what a competitive turf race this is.
Yes, you did go with Boots on the Moon, and Boots on the Moon. Okay, I had this one a little further down on my ticket. Ronnie Spatz is going to have to carve out a trip. Has not been on the turf in a month of Sundays.
Yes, so she's 0 for 3 on the turf. I get it. She's run okay on the turf. To me, it's a flow play. There's so much speed. She's going to be close but not involved with it. She's also dipping in today against state breds, and she's been running very well in her last 2 starts in a 25 starter. Those are good groups. They're better groups. We get Sammy Camacho calling the shots today, and I assume she's going to be at least some kind of square price in here, Ron.
I want to talk about the one Sweetster
Yeah.
before we show you the replay of Aerialist and Love Actually back in February. Sweetster, good connections with George Weaver. Oh, there you go. Oh, we got Love.
Yeah.
Showing that first? Okay, let's show that first. I was going to talk about Sweetster, but let's see.
So here's the speed of Love Actually. It's the horse you want to look at is Aerialist. She's got nowhere to go here. She's biding her time. She can't get a seam. Now, she does get the seam. She was 32-1 in this spot. So you're going to look and you're going to see block 3/16. I'm not beating up the chart. That's correct. When she got room, she did not do a lot of running. So just tread a little lightly with her. I think from off the pace, she could make a little bit of a dent. A win, I'm not quite sure about that.
Now, can I talk about
Sweetster.
the one?
Go.
Sweetster. Good connections, as I was saying. And this one going to try the turf for the first time. It is a daughter of Leinster. They've been very good on the turf. You look at this horse's last running line. Chase checked at the quarter pole. I don't know how badly that was, but I want to show you a stat with the horses going from Tapeta to turf for George Weaver. It's okay, 13%. He doesn't do it a lot, but I like the positive return of investment. J.G. Toriablo will be in the saddle. I just think this is a logical horse that doesn't need the lead. You talk about all the speed in here. Maybe this one sits a nice trip, especially with the rail at 10 feet.
Yeah, I agree with everything you said, Ron. This horse is lightly raced, has so much upside. I don't really know what happened last time because the debut win was so impressive, and it was fast, too. She regressed mightily in her last race. The trouble didn't cost her anything. Now we're trying the turf. She did try to get on the turf 2 starts back. I might be wrong on that, actually. No, incorrect on that. Those little diamonds always bug me a little bit, test my eyes. Rail could be a problem. I hope you get the right price if you're coming along.
Yep. So wide open race. I just want to mention the 9 real quick. Calypso Moon for going first time for Heather Smullen coming out of retired trainer Eddie Pleasant Jr.'s barn. This is the one I thought might sit the trip on the outside with all the speed to its inside.
There are 10 horses in this race after the scratch. There are only 2 of them with a win on this turf course. The 9, Calypso Moon, and the 10, Love Actually. That's a big deal to me.
Race number, that's a good race.
It is a really
Race
good
number
race.
6 this afternoon is going to be a mile on the fast main track. These are maiden 3-year-olds and upward, and we have no scratches in here, but we do have, well, you went with the inside horse, so let's talk about All Max Ander first.
Honestly, I just didn't want to pick either of the 2 favorites. You didn't either. You might agree with me here. Max Sanders, slow, okay? We got him improve. He was at Tampa, so he was not part of the A-team for Jose D'Angelo, but he improved mightily in his second start last time against older horses, too. I know Tampa's obviously not Gulfstream Park in the winter, or any point in time for that matter. This horse is improving. We're going to stretch a little bit more today, and as a son of Maxfield, certainly he wants more ground, tactical, on the upswing, and he's going to be a better price than the 3 and the 6 for sure.
I'm completely rolling the
Yeah.
dice in here. We'd give it time. Like you said, I wasn't that enamored with
Right.
the 2 favorites in here. Carlos David just having a great meet. Sammy Camacho having a great meet. These 2 are teaming up with the son of World of Trouble, getting Lasix this afternoon. Okay, works in the morning. I readily admit I'm taking a shot.
Couldn't see any of the works. It's frustrating. He is a half-brother to a horse that won over $250,000. The elephant in the room is that Carlos David, who's arguably as prolific as anybody on the grounds here, is 1 for 38 with first-time starters. That's like impossible.
Yeah. Well, we'll see how it is. Now, the Pulse will show you this horse's last race. They're going to take the blinkers off today. We'll also show you stat of that. But first, we'll show you the Pulse racing last time out.
Yeah, so it looks pretty good on paper, right? Good second, closing, running on. Oh, that's great. This horse didn't do any running at all. The winner is actually Azam, who somehow wins this race. You want to talk about a horse that gets set up, it's the Pulse. He runs by a bunch of fraying speeds and tiring horses while doing really no real running at all. He's certainly not threatening the winner as Azam comes on again and is a power winner somehow. I think he was 12-1 in this race, which was mind-boggling. The pulse runs fine, but just be a little careful here. He didn't really do anything but pass a bunch of horses that were completely waylaid by the winner, Azam, who just left them all for in his wake. And they're going to bet this horse hard today. Takes blinkers off, so where's he going to be early? Be very careful here. I'm a big firm play against this horse today.
Well, let's show you a stat with Safi Joseph Jr. Blinkers off with horses on the dirt. Good. 23%, 56% in the money. So maybe that's the key. Those 2 races with the blinkers didn't show the speed I guess they wanted to show with this horse.
Yeah, which is very odd because you think blinkers on a horse is going to tighten them up early on. Hasn't really necessarily done that for the pulse.
So we'll see how that plays. Going to take a lot of money in there. 8 to 5 in the morning line, probably be lower than that just because of the connections alone. So we'll see how that works out. Anything else, Brian, as we flip to race number 7?
We've got Moonstrosity for Jenna Antonucci, who she took up the run in the Grade 1 Bluegrass as a maiden. Draw a line through that. Ran very, very well here. 2 starts back in his only real dirt start where he had a chance. I think the problem is the further and further we get away from the Steel race, who won at 18-1 for Bill Mott in a debut that day, the weaker and weaker that race looks.
Moonstrosity, the old tilting windmills going up there to try a Grade 1 or as a maiden. So, I don't know.
Didn't work.
Hey, I don't know anything. As I prove every day. Race number 7 this afternoon. 7.5 furlongs on the turf with the rail at 10 feet. It's a claimer. Fillies, 3-year-olds, and fillies and mares, 4-year-olds and up, which have never won 3 races. Clean slate. Going to kick off the Sunset 6 this afternoon. That's the last 3 here and the last 3 at Santa Anita. And another race that you can go so many different ways. And I want to hear about the one Early Delivery.
So here's a horse treading water, and that might be Kind on the main track over at Tampa. They try her on the turf at 42-1 from an outside bad draw. She runs second. The winner was good that day. Yes, this is obviously crossing the state, a much tougher group. That's the only start I'm looking at because she had never been on turf before. She ran very, very well. I think there's going to be an honest pace in here between your pick and the 3. And these tough gals over here, they don't look that tough to me, Ron. I think it's a good spot to try something funky. You're doing the same.
Give me some luck. You look at this horse's races, speed. They hold this horse back last time. They were trying to looks like they were trying to rate this horse a little bit. It didn't work out that well for them. I think they're going to send this afternoon with the rail at 10 feet. This barn trains for speed.
Yeah.
That's what they train for. So I think this horse is going to go at 7.5 furlongs, especially at 7.5 furlongs.
Right.
It's just a speed play for me.
Yeah, I just worry that the 3 is outside her and she's not letting her get away early. And 2, 3, and 4 starts back. She should have won every one of those races and gave it up late. So.
Yeah, sorry, Brian. You can make a case. Well, we'll show you the rest. Ready to Battle is
Yeah.
controlling speed in this race. You can make a clear case for that. But we'll show you this race with Voodoo.
I mean, Ready for Battle. She's your 7-5 morning line favorite in this race. She's even money in this replay that we're showing. She's on the lead. She's not loose, but she's very comfortable. If you bet on her in this spot, you love where you are right now. And she's beaten 2 1/4 lengths. I mean, you can't be closer than that. I don't know. By a horse that was 3-1 and did run well, but why is it going to be today, Ron? So I don't blame you at all. And back to your initial point, it didn't work rating your horse last time. I would assume Raj puts her on the lead. He's ridden her every single start, and he was clear with her 2, 3, and 4 starts back.
Yeah, I think that's going to go to the lead. And then you got Voodoo. You saw her in this race here. Maybe sits the trip before Let Speed gets goofy on the front end, sets it up for her. We'll see how this plays out for these fillies and mares. Race number 8 is 1.70 miles on the all-weather surface. It's a claimer for 3-year-olds of 4 and up, which have never won 3 or a race since November 8th. Triple conditions in here. Scratch the 3, Fredericksburg. Brian, you went with the number 5, Never say never.
This is my best bet of the day, and I know Frank Santillana is only 0 for 4 on the year. This is a barn that can win races. Just been have a quiet year. He claimed this horse 2 starts back, puts him right back on the Tapeta at 63 to 1 in the Light Fury race, who we'll see tomorrow. He's 7th. He's only beaten 7 3/4 lengths. I don't know if anybody in this field could do that. Light Fury won by 5, so he was beaten 2 3/4 lengths for second. This is a huge drop today. That group of 10s compared to this group of 8s is a monumental drop. Maybe you get a better price than you should because they're going to see 63 to 1 last time, and they're not going to like that. I just think he lays over this field on class.
I did see no other speed when I did my speed handicap, and all I could see was my long shot Johnny Quest for me from Monica McGoey. And I'm guessing here, it comes off a couple of year layoff. I don't see any other speed. Maybe this horse just goes to the lead and they try and seal it. Got the comeback race. Samuel Camacho Jr. It's not Sammy
Right.
Camacho. I don't know if they send this horse. I'm getting 12 to 1 in the morning line. Another horse that I'm just trying to maybe steal this race on the front end. Just, you go back, there's been, through this horse's past performances, chances for this horse to get the lead. Am I crazy? I don't know. I just thought it was a bit of a shot for your horse for all the reasons on my ticket, too, and the number 6 horse, Outlaw Country, who can run well in this spot. 42nd career start.
Never wins. Can't see one. I thought the dangerous, intriguing horse was the 7, Flag Officer. I think he's the only pace player with your horse early. He is stretching back to 2 turns. He hasn't been on Tapeta in a long time. They keep betting him. He kind of sort of has disappointed wildly in his last 2 starts. Now they try something different, Gary Subrowdy.
Yeah, just a wide open race.
Yeah.
Brian's probably right, the 5. It's probably as simple as going with the class of the
see.
field and getting it done. But I want to show you a stat with Outlaw Country, too, with Antonio Sano. And this stat here is Dirt to Tapeta. He's 9%. This is Antonio Outlaw Country. Yeah, he's 27% at Dirt to Tapeta the past 5 years. 9%, excuse me, 20% in the money. I thought it was 9%. Yeah, not good.
A Sano kind of race.
Oh, without a doubt. Race number 9, mile and a 16th on the turf. The rail is at 10 feet. If you got early PPs, it says 59. Not the case. This is a maiden special weight for state-bred maidens, and no scratches, just a jockey change on the 3. Mr. First, make the rider Jose Ferrer.
I like where we're going here, Ron. This is a horse, Mr. First, that they tried in the sophomore turf, that state-bred stakes on Tampa's Florida Stakes Day. And, okay, he didn't beat anybody home. I get it. But he was only beaten 12 1/4 lengths. He was 67 to 1. You get blinkers, you get Lasix. It was a live race because Serac came back and aired
He
for
was a
Nick
good
Palmer.
winner,
He was darn good. Upside. That's all. And I think a decent price, right?
Yeah, that's what I went with, too. There are all the reasons, Jose Ferrer. If there's anybody going to get a horse interested early, it's him. You could make a case that Super Debonair off those 2 races at Woodbine on the grass from Arcassi is going to be the big favorite in here, maybe.
Yeah, I thought he could be. I made Dr. Jekyll the favorite. We'll talk about him in a second. I was very unimpressed with Super Debonair's comeback. I'm being a little hard on him. He hadn't run since the middle of September. As Ronnie said, he did run well on the turf up at Woodbine.
Well, we'll see. And it does now. We'll show the replay of Dr. Jekyll. For turn to the wire, I believe.
Big class drop for Dr. Jekyll because this race, there's nothing going on here. He runs a fine. He's solid for it. Nothing special. But his last 3 races, he was in open, maiden, optional claimers. That group is so much better than this group, and that's why I ended up making him favored in here over Super Debonair. Could obviously clearly shift at post time. You have lower percentage connections, but there's a huge jock move today. Diego Herrera's going to get aboard, and we can't say enough good things about him. Dr. Jekyll is a solid enough 4th. His figures are about as good as anybody, and I just think the class edge that he's had coming out of that race, those races really, 3 of them in a row, is going to give him a little bit of an edge here, but very, very slim, if at all.
I like the way he was running late. He looked okay in there. That's the 9 for us, but we're not done. We have our Friday, lightning round is always the first day of a racing week. We like to go back and look what's happening with the jockeys and the trainers.
Yeah, we'll check it out. Ronnie mentioned it. Sammy Camacho still holding sway. Miguel Vasquez, who was off to that hot start, is doing well too. And there he is, Diego Herrera. Very, very impressive. Mika's down there because he's been bopping around a little bit. Once he sticks, if he sticks and doesn't go, he's going to rise up that leaderboard.
And what do we got with Safi?
Yeah, Safi's tenuous, I believe. I think it's just one where he's on top. Victor Barboza. These are the names here that you're going to see continually.
Yeah, throughout the summer campaign. Royal Ascot.
Yeah, I mentioned tomorrow. It's one of the biggest days we're going to have here. The two qualifiers for Royal Ascot, the Royal Palm and the Royal Palm Juvenile Fillies. This is Scara Bray, who's a big, big favorite, at least in terms of the morning line. She's doing this at Keeneland, and I say she because there's actually 4 fillies in the colt race of field of 9. They bet her down, Ronnie, to 25 cents on the dollar. It was just a 5-horse field. She did not disappoint, and she is a daughter of Golden Pal, who we remember so well, geared down there, winning the Breeders' Cup Turf Sprint. There you go, see there.
Yeah, there you go, 125 each. More importantly, they get to go to Royal Ascot and run, and that is what a great combination that is. That's what makes these races
It's been
so
very successful.
Very successful. What's with the tournament?
There's a tournament tomorrow. Pretty cool. You can
Yeah?
get involved. You can do that at 10 Palms tomorrow. There's a tournament, big weekend at 10 Palms. We'll talk about Mother's Day on Sunday, but there's a tournament there, wagering tournament at 10 Palms, bet and brunch. So check that out on the website. You can do that, and that'll get a lot of people. They do such a good job up there.
We got the tropical turf, and no, we got the tropical turf, yes, but we also have the Sunset 6 kicking off in race number 7, and there you go, dollar minimum, 15% takeout, and the coast to coast.
Coast to Coast is going to be a huge favorite today because check this out, Ronnie. I don't want to test you too hard here. That's an hour and 11 minutes.
Wow.
Got to like that.
Yeah, I could have done that in a couple of minutes.
Yeah.
Don't forget, I didn't want to poo-poo the tropical turf pick 3. That kicks off in race number 5. We should have that on the slate. Your best bet today, Brian?
Best bet today is in race 8 on the Tapita. It's the 5. Never say never.
Mine is in race number 5 in Ocala Gala. You got to take them all or take a stand, and I did with Ocala Gala. Your long shot today?
Race 7, the 1 early delivery on the turf over from Tampa.
My long shot is in race number 8, the 4 Johnny Quist. You'll know right away if this horse is on the lead. Your old man Ron is in big trouble.
I like it. Pete's upstairs.